What's up everyone, this is Wasim from the Tech Boys and I have an epic battle between the Samsung Galaxy S3 and the Apple iPhone 5. Now the Galaxy S3 was released a few months ago and the iPhone 5 released this past weekend. We're going to put them head to head and see what is the best phone to buy. It's Google versus Apple. Samsung makes the S3 and it's running Android. So first let's take a look at the hardware of both phones. Because they are very different. So first we start off with the Galaxy S3. It has a 4.8-inch HD Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 720 by 1280 pixels, bringing pixels per inch at 306. It's made by a full plastic construction. It does come in white as well as pebble blue, and for some carriers you do get a garnet red. And Samsung is releasing black, silver, and brown versions of the Galaxy S3. But as for the US, there's white, there's blue, and for AT&T you can get it in red. You can see it has a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera. There is a physical home button as well as a back and menu button, which are capacitive. On the back you can see an 8 megapixel camera with flash and the speaker. Headphone jack is on the top. Overall, the design of the S3 is nice. Again, it's not mind-blowing when comparing it to other devices because it is only plastic. It does feel very nice and ergonomic because of the curved edges it has. It fits really well in the hand and it's very comfortable. You do get a removable back cover with the Galaxy S3, so you can change out the battery, you can add more memory into the Galaxy S3. It comes with 16 gigabytes built in, as well as other options for 32 and 64 built in, but there is an expansion slot for up to 64 gigs, so you can get a ton of memory on your Galaxy S3. It has a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4. If you have the international version, you will have the quad-core Exynos chip. The US models have 2 gigabytes of RAM, while the international model has 1 gig of RAM. Overall, this is the S3, a nice looking phone. Now let's bring up the iPhone 5. So Apple has finally twisted things up. They finally increased the size of the iPhone. It now has a 4-inch Retina display with a resolution of 640 by 1136, bringing pixels per inch at 326, which is higher than the Galaxy S3. You do also have a front-facing camera which has been centered and has a 1.2 megapixel sensor with 720p HD video capture. On the back it still has the 8 megapixel camera that can shoot in full 1080p video. It's a very thin phone. Apple has redesigned it using a unibody aluminum construction. There is no removable back piece with the iPhone, so you're stuck with the built-in storage and battery. There's 16, 32, and 64 gigabyte option, and the iPhone does come in black and slate as well as white and aluminum. So here is the black and slate, a very clean looking phone, and the white and aluminum is a good looking phone as well. It feels really light in the hand, a lot lighter than its previous iPhone, the 4S. An amazing design. It definitely beats the Galaxy S3 as far as build quality because it feels like a premium device with the S3. It is a little flimsy in comparison. They're both very thin. The iPhone edges it out slightly. But again, if you're looking for a bigger screen and you're totally against the smaller 4-inch display, then possibly the S3 is going to be a better device for you. With the iPhone, really nice design and construction. If you're looking for a very good looking phone with premium build quality, then the iPhone 5 would be the better choice. As far as drop proof, I believe the Galaxy S3 will be a lot better. Obviously, I've never dropped these phones to test them, but I've seen the videos and I can put some links down below. The S3 is a very durable phone. Because of the plastic construction, it is a lot better when you drop it. The screen is Gorilla Glass 2, so it's very scratch proof. And I've had the S3 for a few months now, and I've dropped it from my bedside, from like the door of my car, and there's no scratches or cracks on it. I just got my 4S, and I'll even show you guys. I already got a scratch on the display. I've never dropped it. I don't even know how it happened. Let me see if it's gonna zoom in or focus at least. And there are reports that the iPhone 5 Black is prone to scuffs and scratches because of the aluminum. We'll see in a few months how it holds up. But as for the design today and how I see it in person, iPhone 5 definitely wins in design. And now let's talk about operating system. The Galaxy S3 is running currently Ice Cream Sandwich. It will be upgradable to Jelly Bean. The iPhone 5 is running Apple's latest iOS 6 operating system, and they are completely different software. So let's start with the S3. If you've ever used an Android before, it's very similar. You can add app shortcuts, you can add widgets, you can move everything around. So just a ton of things you can do with the S3. Music widgets, add weather widgets, download more in the App Store. So if you can have up to 4 apps on the dock as well as your application shortcut. And this is how you would navigate your apps. If you tap on widgets, this will show you the widgets that you can put on your home screen. If you want to add, let's say, a calendar or clock, just hold on the app you want and place it on the screen. Very simple to customize your phone. And this is something Android has a huge advantage over iPhone, is widget support. The Galaxy S3 also comes with a loads of feature built in that Samsung has added. One is in the notification tray. You do have access to your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, sound, screen rotation, data, power saving mode, and airplane mode. This is all accessed in the notifications bar. I don't need to go into my settings to change it. And Samsung has recently added a nice brightness widget in the notification bar, which is an awesome add. I don't have to go into my settings, like I said, to change my brightness. And if I did want to go into settings, there are a lot of more features that the S3 has over the iPhone. One is data usage. So here is a built-in data usage monitor, which will show you what apps are using what. And over you can set limits. There is a usage monitor in the iPhone. In my opinion, it doesn't work at all. This would be a more accurate option since a lot of carriers like Verizon and AT&T don't offer unlimited. It's a good idea to monitor your data, especially with 4G LTE devices. You also get motion features that is included in the Galaxy S3, things like direct call. So if you're texting someone, just pick up your phone right from the texting app and it will call someone using the proximity sensor as well as motion built into the phone. Smart Alert is a great feature. Let's say you pick up your Galaxy S3 20 minutes once it's on your bedside and you've missed 10 calls. Right when you pick up the phone, it will vibrate and you'll know that something is up. Look into your phone and you see those missed calls. That is not included in the iPhone. You actually have to turn on the phone to check your notification. The Galaxy S3, once you pick it up, it will vibrate. There's also turn over mute, so a ton of things, palm swipe to capture. It might not be features you use every day, but it is included in the Galaxy S3. There's also S-Beam, so you can transfer information from a Galaxy S3 to another Galaxy S3 using NFC and Wi-Fi Direct. So ton of features. There's also pop-up play. So that is the software Android on the Galaxy S3. And now let's jump into iOS. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen iOS and used it. It's been the same for about 5 to 6 years. It's a grid of apps. You can change your wallpaper, you can create folders, but that's about it. Apple did add the notification center in iOS 4, so it's a nice way to check weather, even stocks, and update your social networks with the share widget in iOS 6 with Twitter and Facebook integration. It's a very clean operating system. It's easy to use. If that's what you're looking for and you want something that works well, iPhone is definitely your best choice. If you're looking for something with more features and customization, then take a look at the S3. But overall, it works well. Apple did add Do Not Disturb in iOS, so you can set specific people not to call you during the day, and it's overall a nice enhancement in iOS. There is iCloud integration, so it's a cloud storage system built by Apple. If you do love Apple's ecosystem with iTunes, iBooks, and the App Store. There are a ton of apps and great quality apps in iOS that you don't get with Android. So if you pull up the top charts, there are a ton of great apps that you might not find on Android. But the phone's operating system works well. Apple has also added Passbook in iOS 6, which is a basically a place where you can add all your boarding passes, tickets, store cards, and coupons. It's very limited right now because companies haven't built for it yet, but there are a few that you can check out. So iOS, simple. You can get bored of it if you're especially very tech savvy. iOS can become very boring, and that is the biggest drawback with iOS. But it works well. It's a nice, clean operating system, and it's fast. Now I have the keyboards pulled up on both phones. As much as I don't want to do this a comparison, I think typing on a device is a very important feature as far as text messaging, sending emails, or browsing the web. You're going to have to type on the phone a lot. And since phones don't offer physical keyboards, you're stuck using these on-screen keyboards. So first, let's start with the iPhone. Because of the 5's new display, the bottom half has stayed the same. It does give you a little bit more to see as far as when you're typing. You'll see more threads, which is nice on the iPhone 5, but the keyboard always is really well. I did see a few issues with this keyboard, is that it doesn't catch up with the speed as I'm typing, so that may be fixed in a future update, but let's go ahead and type on the keyboard. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So very simple to type on, nice and easy. Let's check out the Galaxy S3. So this is the Samsung keyboard, I believe. And you can also download more keyboards in the marketplace, which is a great feature with Android. Go to your Google Play Store, download different keyboards. You can change it. If this doesn't work for you, there might be other options. So, but this is the Samsung that comes stock. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, so there we go. It is it does have a little mistake, but other than that, both keyboards are great. They're easy to use. The Galaxy S3 has a bigger screen, but you can use both phones in portrait and landscape mode pretty easily. And now it's time for browser battles. So we're going to test the speed of the browsers on both phones. I haven't cleared really any history on the phone, so this is going to be sites that we've recently visited, and I'm going to make sure all tabs are closed, that we only have one opened. And I'm going to be using the stock browser built into the Galaxy S3. Google Chrome is also a really good option to use on the S3. But we are going to go to, let's go to theverge.com. And we're going to do the same with the S3. So both are queued up, and I'm going to press go at the same time. And they're both off. So both are loading over LTE. So it should be a pretty fair comparison. The Galaxy S3 did load up a little bit faster than the iPhone 5, but it was pretty close. So we have the website loaded up, and you can, browse the web. Pretty nice on both phones. You do get more information as far as on the browser because of the bigger screen on the Galaxy S3, but browser performance is really nice. One thing I do notice right now is the text. Let me zoom in a little bit just to show you guys. It looks a lot sharper on the iPhone's display. I don't know if it's the website, but it looks really pixelated on the Galaxy S3's display. It might not show in the video, but the iPhone's pixel density definitely helps out here. This is a clear example with the text. So we're going to load up the full site, and let's see who loads up first. So we're going to go to full site, and they're loading. You can see the blue bar right there and the blue bar for the Galaxy S3. iPhone is done. Galaxy S3 is still loading up. And now we're still waiting for the S3 to finish loading. Still going. But you can still go ahead and browse the web on both phones. Browsers on both phones are very smooth. They're pretty much neck and neck. Pinch to zoom is extremely fast on the iPhone. Double tap to zoom in. And you can do the same with the Galaxy S3 pretty easily. And let me show you how text looks close up. Again, I still see that same effect with the S3. It doesn't look as sharp, but it's, unless you have a microscope, you're not really going to notice. It works fine on both phones. And again, with the S3, it might give you an enjoyable experience because it has the bigger screen. And then the iPhone, it does have features to mail, text message, Twitter. You can add it to your home screen, add to reading list. And that has very similar features with the S3. You can bookmark the page, add it to your home screen. Require desktop view, which is a really nice feature, and save for offline reading. So browser features are very similar, and the speed of them is about the same. So I tested a lot of sites and they run about the same speed. So very fast on both phones. Just going to depend if you like the Android browser or the iOS browser. Let's also go to YouTube. We're also going to do a video buffering test just to see which phone can load the video first. So youtube.com and youtube.com. And go. So there we go. Both phones are loaded up. And we are going to browse for a new video to check out. And let's do the Simpsons one. So we're going to tap on the video. And I'm going to press done here. And I'm going to enable high quality on both phones. Okay, so there we go. High quality is enabled on both. All I need to do is tap on play to play the video, and we'll see which phone plays the video first. So play.
Oh, man, not another election, man.
So the iPhone did play it a little bit faster. So there we go. Let's also move it into landscape mode to compare the video quality. So here we have the video here, and here as well. So there we go, we have the video playing on both phones. Again, you do have a bigger screen with the S3, which is, it gives you a better browsing experience. But both are widescreen. That's new with the iPhone 5 since it has a 16:9 aspect ratio. You get the full web experience with full screen video, which is a great feature. And both phones look nice. It just, again, depends on your preference. Do you want the bigger screen or do you want the 4-inch screen on the iPhone? So that is the browser round. I'm going to call it a draw. Now let's go into the camera. So there's a wide variety of shooting modes. There's single shot, burst shot, HDR, face detection, smile shot, beauty, panorama. So a ton of things you can do. Change your scene modes, edit your exposure. So a lot of manual controls that you get on the S3 that you don't get on the iPhone. So they have all these effects: negative, white balance, washed out, cold vintage, warm vintage. So a ton of camera things you can do with the Galaxy S3. The quality of the pictures, I'm going to call them on par. They're both amazing cameras. It depends if you want the manual controls and burst shot HDR, then the S3 will be for you. But if you just want a phone that takes good pictures, then you can't go wrong with either phone. Alright, as for battery life, they're both phones are on par. You do get a little bit better standby mode with the S3, but with Android, you never know what's gonna happen. Depends on what kind of apps, since they are running in the background. The iOS operating system is a little bit better at managing battery life, because it doesn't run applications in the background. But both phones have very good battery life. You should be able to get through a day pretty easily. Call quality is nice on both phones, and the speaker is nice and loud. Alright, now let's talk about voice controls. You get Siri with the iPhone, and you get S Voice with the Galaxy S3. Which one's better? I'll just say right now, Siri is way better than the Galaxy S3. I'll do a few demonstrations right now just to show you the capabilities of both phones. What's the weather in San Francisco?
Nice weather coming up for San Francisco through Sunday. Up to 79 degrees and partly sunny.
What movies are playing?
I found quite a number of movies playing in San Francisco today.
So Siri now knows about movies and restaurants. She also knows a lot about sports too. And now let's do a test on the Galaxy S3. What's the weather in San Francisco?
Here is the weather for San Francisco, California.
So, I mean, not only is the voice horrible, and if she sounds like she's dying, it's very slow. It hardly works half the time. And it's just a weak attempt by Samsung. They just want it there just to say that they have it. And overall, I would never use S Voice on the Galaxy S3. You can do basics like weather, but if you try other things like, what was the score of the 49ers game? So there it's loading up. It's probably going to take forever.
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. Would you like to search the web?
Set an alarm clock for 6 a.m.
Okay, I'll set the 6 a.m. alarm now.
So you can do very basic things
Okay,
like
I
set
saved
your
it.
alarm, check weather information, send text messages, but for full capabilities of voice, Siri definitely takes the cake. And now let's talk about Maps. Maps is a big feature. Obviously these are smartphones, so you're going to use navigation. We have iOS Maps here, and then now we have Google Maps, which comes with all Android phones, obviously. So let's search for San Francisco. Pretty simple. And San Francisco. So both phones pulled up the information. Apple has ditched Google Maps for their own in-house mapping system. And a lot of people are angry about that because it does not give you as much data as Google Maps. So let's zoom into a building. Let's zoom into 4th Street. See if I can pull up the same. So here we have like the same area in Google Maps. If I zoom in very close into Google Maps, you can actually see the buildings with iOS. I'm zooming in. You see a very similar feature, but it doesn't give as much information compared to Google Maps. And now let's pull up satellite. iOS Maps definitely looks prettier to look at, but as for functionality, I've had few problems with it. It's not as bad in my area, but I've heard of horror stories with iOS Maps. So we're going to turn on satellite with both phones. And here we have satellite view. You do get 3D mapping with iOS, which is cool if you're going to use that. But both offer turn-by-turn directions, which is great to see on iOS finally. And they're both great turn-by-turn directions, but Google Maps definitely wins by more data, more accurate results. iOS definitely needs some work, and Apple definitely does know that since they released some information regarding future updates with iOS. Alright guys, this has been my comparison of the Galaxy S3 and the Apple iPhone 5. Which one should you get? Honestly, it's a toss-up. It's totally up to you. Both phones are awesome. If you want something simple, easy to use, and you know what you're expecting, go for iOS. If you want to use the full capability of a smartphone with customization features, and obviously Google Maps is a great thing on Android that you don't get with iOS, and go with the Galaxy S3. You get the bigger screen. If you love Apple's ecosystem, the App Store, iTunes, and iBooks, and iCloud, then go with the iPhone. You know what you're getting. It works amazingly well. The S3, there is huge potential. You can basically make the phone whatever you like. And this does not even go into rooting. As far as just built-in features, there is a lot to do. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to our channel. We'll have a lot more comparisons coming up, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.